What's up, YouTube? We are coming at you with a new knife. This is the new knife from Arcform, and we'll get more into the company here in a minute. This is the Slimfoot. Just picked this up from Blade HQ today. Packaging is on point. Look how nice this box is. This whole spiel about Arcform, their website and such. And this little thing opens up here, which is cool. Got this little paper over the knife. The knife sits in a nice flat, or nice foam box. You got something under there that says Arcform. It's really cool. Very cool packaging, so spot on for that. So let's talk about the company real quick before we get into the knife, because it's a new company, kind of. So, I looked them up online, and what they are is they're somehow a division of the same people that do Flytanium scales and Flytanium things. If you go on their website and you look at their divisions, it says flytaniumco.com. Their address is here in Lehi, Utah, which is very, very close to Blade HQ. They must somehow be affiliated. I don't know how exactly, but they are local here in Utah. Now, this design is by Jeff from Tuffknives. It's his design, and the knife is manufactured by Riat Knives out of China. Wow, that's a lot going on. So, interesting. I didn't know they were directly related to they have a division for Flytanium. If you go on their website and go to the About section here, you can see that. You can see the contact info is their info, and then the address, like I said, is here in Utah. So it's very interesting. I think Blade HQ may be the only one selling this knife too. I haven't seen it on anyone else's website. So there you go. Designed by Jeff, Tuffknives. They've done collaborations with Tuffknives before. Blade HQ has. So I'm kind of seeing, you know, how this is kind of going together here. So the knife is manufactured by Riat, so you know it's going to be top quality. So the design, however, is Tuffknives, and if you go on his Instagram page, he has a link to Arcform knives. So I'm thinking it's somehow his mid-tech line of knives is what I'm guessing. I don't know if they're going to be working with other makers or not. So there's a brief kind of sort of history here. So let's talk about this insanely awesome knife. I went to Blade HQ today. It was down that direction. It's a little bit south of me, and I was visiting a friend that now works there, and as well as going to a shoot-off activity for Utah Shoot. It's called Shoot-off for Utah shooters. Took my son and friend and shot some full auto, some suppressors, checked out the new Silencer Co. Maxim 9. Pretty good day. Nice little preempt to Father's Day. So went to Blade HQ and checked out a few new knives. Looked at a few new Liam Ma, a couple of his new models, and this Arcform. And I really liked this one, so I ended up taking this one home. So there's kind of a brief history of how I got this knife. Not that that really matters. Anywho, it's a really nice folder. It's really top quality. I mean, I'm just glad I got to handle it first. But I can tell that it's definitely made by a good OEM manufacturer. I knew it was made in China. I thought it might have been Wii, but it actually is Riat. So it's coming in about $350, and you're getting a titanium frame lock with a carbon fiber inlay, I'll call it, and your S35 yen steel. So again, designed by Tuffknives. This is basically his mid-tech knife, we'll call it, even though it is a production knife based on his design. So maybe it's, you know, it's kind of like how Liam Ma does his knives with Riat. That's kind of the way I look at it. So let's go ahead and talk about the specs real quick, and then we'll get into the overall first impressions. So your overall length is 7.8 inches, almost 7.9. Blade length is 3 1/4 or 3 1/2. Your cutting edge is 3.3. S35 yen steel, sheep's foot blade, hollow ground with a stonewash finish. We'll talk about that finish in a minute because it's really nice. Plain edge with a 4.5 inch handle, so it's a nice size. 0.53 is your thickness. You have a carbon fiber and titanium, obviously. Weighs at 4.6 ounces, which for some reason to me feels lighter than that. I don't know why that is. It is a right hand tip up only carry, no way to move that pocket clip. And it is a flipper on ceramic bearings. Super nice flipping action, very smooth. Very smooth action. So that's kind of your basic specs there. Now, let's kind of take a closer look at it, and the fit and finish on this blade is quite good. I mean, very good. Easily as good as anything I've ever seen come out of Riat, and maybe even nicer in some ways. I don't know. It's about on par. Looking at some of the Leon models today and previous Riots I've looked at, it's very high quality. You got a nice, like I said, nice carbon fiber insert here. That is actually, if you can look here, you can see how they milled out the titanium scale here for that carbon fiber insert. It's got 2 screws that hold it on so you can remove it. And if you remove it, it's just that big titanium underneath there. Very nice. You have a nicely sculpted and machined, I shouldn't say sculpted, machined's a better word, machined titanium backspacer here. It's very flawless and seamless. Nice chamfering along the edges here. You can see some nice machining here. You have the nice pocket clip with just the Arcform logo. It's very slim. It's a very, very nice pocket clip. I really like the pocket clip. It's one of the, actually the nice, funny enough, nice things about the knife. Just to give you a kind of an idea of the pivot there, a little bit decorative there, and the frame lock cutouts and such. It is gorgeous. It's a very, very nice knife. Flipper tab is got some jimping here. It's a little different shape. See how it's kind of rounded? It's a different shape of a flipper. Why did I only grab one flipper to compare it to? Here's the ZT808. I meant to grab another flipper, but you can see how the tab, I really jacked up my finger, by the way. I'll tell that story here in a minute. See how this one kind of comes down and this one kind of rolls up? It's just a different way, but it works really well. Flips nicely. Okay, so let's look at that blade. You can see it's got some nice stone washing there. And you've got your satin finish up here on the flats and stone wash on the grind. So very nice contrast, a nice full-size fuller, very handsome looking. I really dig the flow of the design, and we'll get into the design here in a minute, but how this flows with the handle, it looks just really nice. You can see here it's got a, let's look at the tip, gonna give you an idea there. Look at that grind. Perfectly done. Totally symmetrical. Doesn't have much of a tip. It does, I mean, it does have some. It's definitely a sheep's foot blade. Kind of like it was trying to be an Insingo blade from Chris Reeve, but not quite. But definitely more sheep's foot. Still very attractive and still very usable with that hollow grind. There's the Tuffknives logo on this side, and then you have the Arcform logo there. So no Riot markings anywhere, but they are making these knives. Like I said, nice smooth action. You do have a titanium, or excuse me, a steel lock bar insert here. You can see that it's kind of different. It's not a screw on the outside, it's on the inside, but you can see the steel lock bar insert here on the knife, and so that you're not going to have any lock stick or anything. There's an inside look at the back spacer and the pin that runs through that, through this screw right here. So you just got 2 screws here, your pivot, and then you could actually take the scale off, I believe, without removing these screws for the inlay. I'll have to take it apart and find out. I just, like I said, just first impressions, just picked it up today. But it's a beaut. Very good action, nice early lockup, no stick, super smooth. I mean, very, very good. Fit and finish is impeccable on this thing, guys. Okay, so the price point is $350 for titanium frame lock flipper S35 VN. Pretty good sized knife. Pricing wise for Riot is actually pretty standard. I mean, that's about what their knives would cost, or a little bit more. The Leon Ma Riots are about $75 to $100 more than these. Looking at like a Wii knife, you're more expensive. You're going to be $250 to $300 for the more premium Wiis, and Kaiser is going to be even less expensive. So, but these are definitely a lot more going into the fit and finish on this knife than there is on any Kaiser model that I can imagine. So I don't really want to compare those. The Wiis, however, have done a lot of detailed work on theirs at Wii knives, and they're still coming in at that lower price point. So I think here you're getting the Riot pricing, you're getting the custom maker with Tuffknives, which is fine. You know, that's why Leon Ma charges what he does for his knives, because you're buying his design, his name, and that's just kind of how it goes. Wii is all typically made in-house designs, so there's a few collaborations with a couple designers like Simon Crafts, but overall, that's why I think there's that pricing gap. I really like how Wii's doing that and what they're doing. Speaking of Wii knives, this is kind of what made me think about this knife. It's kind of very similar to what Wii is doing with Ferrum Forge and Massdrop, where Massdrop is kind of promoting the knife, Ferrum Forge is designing, and then Wii is manufacturing. So you have Tuffknives design, Riat manufacture, and promoted and sold under the Arcform name. Very much similar to that. Very similar to those new Ferrum Forge Massdrop Wii knives. Those are coming in at a very, very competitive price. I mean, I'm talking $150 is the last two that have been sold on Massdrop. I'm still trying to figure out how they're doing that. Those knives aren't going to be available till later this year, and we'll have to see how they stack up. But this knife, back to this knife, not to get on too much of a tangent, is really nice. My first impressions are very, very well made. Very nice knife. Very good fit and finish. Up there with, I think, the nicer limited run ZTs. Like I said, the other Riat knives, the Liam Ma designs. Definitely up there with the Wii's, the nicer Wii knives that I've handled. I would even say fit and finish is... It's hard to say it's is on the same level as like Chris Reeve, because the tolerances are so tight on those knives, and it's kind of a different... They're not making flippers, so I don't really want to compare that, but it is very nicely made. I mean, very nicely made. So for your money, a lot of people are going to scoff at that price, say that's a lot for S35 and Chinese made. But the fit and finish is there, and like I said, there is some more design element or design, money going in, because it's a custom maker, and that's how they make their living. They make money on the royalties. That's fine. That's part of the industry, and it's a good part of the industry, because it allows us to get these nice designs that by Tuffknives that would have been like $1,000 plus on his customs, and you can get it for $350. So I'm more than willing to pay that. Let's do a size comparison here. Got the ZT-808, which is a common knife, very similar in size to the 808. Let's actually zoom out to get those in better. I've got the Greyman Duo here. Like I said, I gotta open these knives funny, and my thumb is all kinds of jacked by this dumb knife. Actually, I really like this knife, but man, it has cut me, and it cut me really bad this time. I about took the tip of my thumb off. I mean, I have like a nasty flap of skin there, and thought I had to get stitches, which I didn't, as far as I know. But that's kind of a smaller knife, just to kind of give you an idea of the size of that knife. It's very, very similar in size to the Duo and the 808, and this is about the same, a little bit bigger. They're packing a lot of blade into that handle, which I love. Good blade handle ratios. That's one gripe on the Fox, besides that it cuts me a lot, is that the blade to handle ratio is not fabulous. So far, first impressions of the Arcform, or the Slimfoot, I should say, are very good. Super nice action. Fit and finish is phenomenal. Let's talk about ergonomics real quick. I find the ergonomics to be very good in the hand. Very, very comfortable in this grip here. The pocket clip is no hot spots there. Reverse grip is very, very comfortable. So any way you hold it, really, it's going to work well. There is no jimping on the spine here. The spine is, I don't want to call it rounded. It's almost like it has a 90-degree, which not quite. See what I'm talking about here? But it's part of the design here of the blade. So it's not rounded, but it's not just, it's actually really nicely finished. Really, really nice finishing. Lots of extra little details on this knife that you're not going to find on a lot of companies' knives. So that is one thing why this is worth the money here quite a bit. Let's look at that. Nice chamfering here. The edges are all rounded nicely. I mean, it's just really well done. Good flipping action. Let's talk about the design, because the ergos are great. It flows really well. I mean, look how the blade is so linear in the handle. It just works really well with the blade shape. I really like it, and then the fuller kind of accentuates that. And then having that carbon fiber inlay there, I think goes well with it as well. So the design is very well done. Not surprised. Jeff definitely knows what he's doing over there. And it's funny to think a few years ago he was just modding and stuff nice on YouTube. He's come quite a long way there. But very, very nicely designed. I really dig it. It flows very well. There's nothing off that's, about the design. That you can see how well it was drawn up and how how well it was executed by Riot and Arcform. It was done very well. So I like it. It's pretty sweet. And this is a longer first impression video. There's a little background on the company and such, but overall, I think it's worth the money, and my first impressions are really good. I'll do a follow-up review on this one. If you don't see follow-up review, guys, it usually means that I sold the knife because I wasn't gonna make the cut in my EDC. I could totally see this one making the cut in my EDC, so we'll see. Look for that follow-up review, and look for a few new knife reviews. I've just been kind of overwhelmed by videos, and I'm trying to kind of be strategic in what videos I upload these days, because I don't have as much time, and yeah, lots of things going into it. So wanted to get this one out there because I know this is a new knife. There's been a few videos on it, just to give you kind of my perspective, my first impressions on it, a little background on the company, and there you go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.